I am very grateful to Layla Heimlich, who is going to be reading this week's scripture passage from Ecclesiastes, chapter 3, verses 1 through 8. And I am also immensely grateful to Grandon Purnell, who answered my call, my request, my plea to be our guest preacher this Sunday at relatively short notice. Grandon is our church's teen group leader. Many of you have met him. He is also a lay leader and a member of First Congregational UCC in DC. He's on staff with Seabury Resources for Aging. He is a student at Catholic University and the father of 2 young and beautiful sons. So again, I want to thank Grandon so much for agreeing to preach this morning. I look forward to his word. And first we hear from Layla, who will be reading our scripture passage. Thank you again, Layla.
Ecclesiastes 3, 1 through 8. For everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up what is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to throw away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time for war and a time for peace.
Thank you so much, Layla. And Grandon, I'm going to pin your video, so just give me 1 second before you begin. Let's see, let me find you. Just give me 1 moment. There we go. Okay. Okay. All right, there we go.
We're good.
We are good. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Pastor Ellen, first off, for giving me this opportunity to present the gospel to everyone. Hello, everyone. How you doing? She already introduced me. My name is Grandon Purnell. I'm going to say a quick prayer right quick, and then I'll get into what I was able to receive from God following this week. Holy God, empower us to live in light of the gospel, declaring its truth with our words and embodying this truth through our actions. Give us love for you and love for one another. Amen. In the book of Ecclesiastes, Solomon tells us there's a time for everything. A time to plant. Since 1619, when the first slaves were dropped in Jamestown, Virginia, America, although not founded itself, started planting seeds. Seeds of injustice, seeds of disparity, seeds of white supremacy. These same seeds was watered for over 400 years through slavery, Jim Crow laws, war on drugs, and a prison industrial system that even to today still legalized slavery, the 13th Amendment. All these things are systemic and put in place to maintain a certain order, a time to be silent, an order that keeps a status quo with white America being the alpha, the head, a time to be silent. In recent weeks, America has been rocked with the visual of lives being taken. We all watched as Ahmaud Arbery was hunted down by 2 white men because he looked suspicious jogging. George Floyd because of supposedly using fake money to purchase groceries, and Breonna Taylor because of a no-knock warrant on a wrong house and a wrong identity. These are new names, new faces, but the same story that's been told for years. Sandra Bland, Michael Brown, Corey Gaines, Eric Garner, Trayvon Martin. We watched over and over on the news and social media lives being taken away. A time to speak. As a Black man in America, I oftentimes wonder, why haven't God intervened? Do he hear his children's cries of pain and anguish? Do he see our fears and our frustration with America? With America and the world at a standstill because of quarantine or COVID, I realized that God's timing is always perfect. Romans 8:28 said, all things work together for good to those who are called according to God's purpose. This time at home made it impossible to miss these things happen. Impossible to turn away. Impossible to allow these lives to fall to the wayside. It enraged some, saddened others, but it affected all. A time to tear down. This time off also gave us all the time to actually face and confront these injustices. In droves, people came out protesting, rioting, looting, all in the name of justice. A time to tear down. Physical buildings were destroyed. Businesses were looted. But all of these are empty in comparison to the lives that have been looted and destroyed over the years because of these very same seeds that was planted when America first started. A time to speak up and a time to uproot. A time to uproot. I'm going to be honest. I have enjoyed this past week watching America burn. I felt like for once they get to see what it's like to be enraged all the time because of the injustice you see always happening to me just for the color of my skin. Just for a moment, white America felt what it's like to be Black. A time to speak, and speaking they have. From police abolition to blacking out on social media, everyone is finding time to vocalize their thoughts. This is also a time to embrace. It's remarkable seeing that for the first time in history, all 50 states participated in some form of solidarity for all the grievances that are going on. The first time we actually agreed on something, that there's a problem that needs to be fixed. We've seen billionaires from Jeff Bezos of Amazon and Elon Musk of Tesla even speak out and say Black Lives Matter. Even on gaming systems in NBA 2K20 and Call of Duty, messages was broadcasted to the virtual world that Black Lives Matter. But I do fear that it is sensationalized. This is a now thing to do where we love something for the moment. But I wonder where we will be a month from now, 6 months from now, a year from now. Will Black lives still be the theme? Will we actually still see change? My brother and sister, I have a question for you. What will you do? A time to speak. In Esther 4:14, the priest Mordecai let Esther know that the Jews would be saved regardless of if she said something or not, but that she would miss out on all that God had for her because she was put into a position for such a time as this. How are you using your privilege? How are you helping tear down the current system and build up a better one, a more inclusive one? God has placed you all for such a time as this, and the deliverance will come regardless, but will you be a part? My desires and hopes are that you will. I'm going to end this with a quote of a song by the great Sam Cooke. It's called "The Change Is Going to Come," but I'm going to focus on the last stanza. When he said, there was time that I thought I couldn't last for long, but now I know that I'm able to carry on. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change is going to come. And I know for a fact, with all these recent events and with the intensity and the focus and the drive that we all have right now, that a change will come. Thank you.